G'day headbangers and welcome to Dozel's Metalworks. Welcome back my fellow metalheads to another edition of Dozel's Metalworks. What a week, what a lovely week. Was it? Yes it was. I'll explain to that after today's main topic. Now, I've thought the interesting one this week, probably in two parts, one part now, another part down the track. I'm calling it the best of the best ofs. What does that mean, you say? Well, bands that have released greatest hits or best ofs, stuff like that. I've got 10 to start off with, and did a bit of research into all of them about which ones actually had special tracks released for that album in particular. So yeah, let's get started with Motley Crue Greatest Hits, released in 1998. Okay, so it covers Too Fast for Love, their first album, up to Generation Swine. And the two special tracks they released for that album was Bitter Pill and Enslaved. It's a pretty good album, that one. Don't actually have it, but maybe one day. Next one we have Van Halen Best Of Volume 1, released in 1996. Now this one was a good one. The special tracks released for this one was Me, Wise Magic, Can't Get This Stuff No More, both featuring David Lee Roth returning on vocals, and A Human Being, which you could only get this song from this Best Of album or the Twister soundtrack, because it was featured in the movie. Great movie too, I might add. And it's actually my favourite Van Halen song, is the old Human Being. Absolutely love it. Now this features everything from Van Halen to Balance, but doesn't actually feature any songs from the album Dive It Down, which I found quite interesting. But yeah, it's a pretty good album, so yeah. Next we have Dio, the very best of Diamonds, the very best of Dio, released in 1992. When that features everything from Holy Diver up to Lock Up the Wolves. There's no special tracks for it. Granted, I would have put tracks on it myself, like a couple of other ones from the Dream Evil album, but anyway, so that was a pretty decent album. Next one we have Best of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Now, it actually had two formats when it came to the CD. This is the single disc edition I have here. They also have, which this has 16 tracks. The two disc edition has 27 tracks. The only special track they released for that was Virus. Track's not too bad. And it features all the stuff from Iron Maiden up to the X Factor. So yeah, not too bad, that one. Next one we have The Vault by Def Leppard, released in 1995. Had quite a few interesting ones for this one. For the album they had When Love and Hate Collide, which was a special track for that album. You also had no tracks from On Through the Night, but it features everything from High and Dry up to Adrenalize. Now, Pour Some Sugar on Me was the video edit, and Rocket was the single edit. That's why they might sound a bit different if you listen to them compared to the stuff in Hysteria. But look, that's probably one of the greatest hits I've ever listened to, actually. Pretty good, the old Vault. So yeah. Okay, next one. We have Crossroad by Bon Jovi, released in 1994. They like to release them in the 90s, these guys, you know. But I found that's when the best greatest hits albums were, in the 90s. So here we had all the best of tracks from Bon Jovi to Keep the Faith. Specifically, they had for this album the power ballad Always, Someday I'll Be Saturday Night, and what I call The Butchering. They did a remake of Living on a Prayer, and they called it Prayer 94, and it was basically a soft ballad version of it. And I love Bon Jovi, but God, that song sucked ass, seriously. They butchered that song like you wouldn't believe. But apart from that, the rest of the album was pretty good. Next, we have First Blood, Last Cuts by Wasp, released in 1993. First album to feature the song Animal Fuck Like a Beast, because it was only released as a single way back when, but never on any album. So this was the first album to have it. The special tracks for it were Sunset in Babylon and Rock and Roll to Death, and featured basically every song from the first album, Wasp, to my favourite album, The Crimson Idol. So yeah, pretty good. Now the next one is Metalworks 73 to 93 by Judas Priest, released in 1993. Now I don't have Metalworks, but I do have the Essential Judas Priest. They had no tracks from the debut album Rock-A-Roller, but featured everything from Sad Wings of Destiny to Painkiller. Now I want to get my hands on Metalworks one day because it's, you know, pretty much all their best stuff. Plus the album cover is pretty damn good. So yeah. Okay, next we have Whitesnake's Greatest Hits from 1994. It really is interesting, this one, because it's from the albums from 83 to 89. So only the Geffen records. So the weird thing is, it's slotted in 1987, or their self-titled album, which whatever you want to call it, and Slip of the Tongue. I mean, it's the three best albums in my eyes. But Here I Go Again is the only real different track. It was the radio edit on this one, where it starts off heavy as opposed to starting off nice and slow. But it's actually a pretty good greatest hits album, to be honest, because I love all the songs on those three albums. So yeah. Now finishing it off, we have Idolize Yourself, the very best of Billy Idol, released in 2008. Now he had quite a few best ofs, but this one I love the most. Now the specific tracks he released for this one was John Wayne, New Future Weapon, and Speed, which is actually my favourite Billy Idol song from the soundtrack, Speed, which is a freaking great movie. So yeah, and that features everything from the album of Billy Idol all the way up to Devil's Playground. So yeah, now the thing is, with a lot of these greatest hits, like I said, I like the ones that were released in the 90s, because I reckon a lot of bands released their best stuff in the 80s and a certain part of the 90s. So this is only part one. There are other albums I'll have a yap to at a later stage. But yeah, that's my first lot of greatest hits. Also during the week, or actually I think it was yesterday or this morning, Disturbed dropped their latest single. It is called I Will Not Break. And holy shit, boys and girls, oh, what an absolute banger. It's such a banger. If it was any more of a banger, it would be a dead set sausage. It is absolutely fantastic. And I've been listening non-stop. When I started listening to it, after I got the car washed this morning, after half a dozen times already I've been listening to it. It goes about 4 minutes. And the music is phenomenal. And it's like, oh God, if the new album, which is meant to be out this year, but it's not confirmed, if any of the rest of the album's going to be like this, then it's going to be How Much and Gimme, Shut Up and Take My Money, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, looking forward to the next single, actually, whenever that is. But anyway, my friends, that is this week's edition of Does the Metalworks. And until next week, march on.